Hello, and thank you for joining me here again. I am currently in the book of Revelation and getting toward the end of the book, and it is quite the read. Been reading about the judgments upon the earth and upon those who have denied God, rebelled against God, and refused to repent and turn to the Lord. And in the chapter number 17, I'm reminded of a thought, and it's a thought that actually we see throughout the entire scripture. But Revelation chapter number 17 and verse 17 reads, "And God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled." And in chapter 17, John gets a picture of something called Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, seen in verse number 5. Talks about a beast and that there are those who give their power unto that beast. And it's talking about a one-world government, a one-world society in which all men are ruled by a centralized government, and that all authorities and powers bow down to that government. And but the Bible reminds us of a thought, and this is a thought we ought to always keep in mind in verse number 17, which is that no matter what is happening in the world, no matter which direction things are going politically, who's in charge, or what happens to be going on around us, we must always keep in mind that God's will is going to come about regardless of what it is man tries to do. Now, that does not mean that man does not have a choice in his actions. God knows the beginning from the end, but we choose day to day what it is we are going to do. We make our choices, but in the end, through it all, God's will be done. And it is God's will to bring about the judgment, and it is God's will to bring about the final condemnation, including that upon Satan himself, that dragon, that old serpent. It will be done according to God's will. Now, there's some very difficult times coming for the earth. During the end time, when God is bringing everything to a culmination, there are some very difficult, very tumultuous and trying times that shall come upon the earth. Many people will die. Many will be put to death. Even those who claim the name of Christ and take the name of Christ. The Bible says the dragon and the beast and those who worship the beast shall fight against those who have the name of God, and some shall be put to death. Revelation speaks of that. Some shall be beheaded, and some shall be put to death. But the judgment of the earth is coming, and it shall come about according to God's will. Sometimes we think we have a lot of power in our hands, and we have a lot of ability to influence and make things happen. We sometimes think that if certain people are in office or certain people are in government, then government shall do exactly what it is that we would want them to do, or at least pretty close to what we want them to do. But as we can see, just by looking around, as events in the world change, so do the things that our government does. And we often think that we have a lot of power and control over that by who gets put into office. But in reality, those who are in office, the Bible calls them the ministers of the Lord, and they shall bring about things as God desires and God sees fit. The Bible reminds us that the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord, and as the rivers of water, God, will turn it whithersoever he will. We read of Nebuchadnezzar that God put it in his heart to go down, and Nebuchadnezzar was the sword in the hand of the Lord to chasten or to correct or punish the nation of Israel. It was the same with the Assyrians. When the Assyrians conquered the northern part of the nation of Israel, and they came to the doors of the city of Jerusalem, and the king of Assyria told the king of Judah at that time, he said, "Listen," he said, "don't think that I'm doing this on my own. Your God has sent me here to punish the people of this nation for their rebellious wickedness against the Lord." When King Cyrus the Great became king of Persia, God put it in his heart to allow the Israelites to return to rebuild Jerusalem and to rebuild the temple. So God is the one that's in control. He is called here in Revelation chapter number 17 and verse number 14. He is called the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, and things shall culminate as God desires them to do. It is our job as Christians to have faith and patience, understanding that God's will be done, and trusting that in each step of the way, God's will be done. I remember speaking with a friend of mine many years ago, And we were talking about the elections that had taken place. And someone had been elected in that I did not vote for, somebody that I would rather not have been elected to office in our country. And he asked me a question that I had not considered. And he asked me this. He said, this person was elected. He said, do you believe that it is God's will for him to be the president of the United States? And I had to stop and think about that a little bit. I had to think about it and think, well, I didn't want him to be elected, but does that mean it wasn't God's will that he be elected? If it wasn't God's will that he was elected, then are things happening according to the will of God? The Bible tells us they are. So if it was God's will for him to be elected, how should I think about it? Sure, I might not have wanted him to be the president, and sure, he was going to make some decisions and put people into offices and appoint people that I didn't want appointed. But if it's God's will, then it's God's will. And God's will be done, even if it's not necessarily what I would like it to be. Thank the Lord, he has a plan. Thank the Lord, he is the judge and he is just. And all things will work out as he himself desires. God bless you, and we know we will be seeing you very, very soon.